Shanti, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the Monday workshop series. As always, every Monday, we have very special guest speaker reflecting on the deeper aspects of the spirituality and the ways to reach our highest spiritual self. And one of the things with spirituality, as always, we reflect on, we bring our attention to, it is not a physical thing, and it makes things little complicated or little interesting to to perceive something subtle from our materialistic intellect. So today we have with us Brother Bharti, who is going to take us through this journey of exploring the power of silence. Power- Silence is not just emptiness of sound or emptiness of thoughts or feelings, but our power of silence is something which comes alive when all of these physical triggered things comes into silence. Something that comes alive, and that is the spirituality. And today we have with us Brother Bharti, who has explored this field of power of silence very deeply, and he by profession is a scientist, and he has ISRO is like NASA for US. ISRO is for India, wherein he has led a very senior roles, and also he played a very senior roles in a lot of high tech companies in India. Presently, he's here in Bay Area on a conference similar to that, and he has this very keen intellect that has a mind to intellect and Baba's Gyan to explore the subtleties of spirituality. And he's going to share with us his own journey through power of silence and how this power of silence brought a lot of clarity about spirituality. And without any further ado, and he has been with the Brahma Kumaris for over 22 years, more than a couple of decades, and he is one of the core members of the IT team. And I met Brother Bharti in one of our conferences that we did. One of the seminars, not just seminars, it is summits that we did for chief executives, which are from IT industry. So we did couple of almost like 5, 6 of CXO summits in India, all over India. So which has triggered a huge momentum in the whole of IT industry and bring spirituality to IT industry. And they have a huge network of almost hundreds of thousands of people in their mailing list. Uh, and they conduct a couple of retreats, IT retreats in Madhuban, or for all the senior leaders. I think there is one coming up soon in April, I guess, Bharti Bhai. And he's one of the core members. He's one of the core members of uh, uh, that that wing, the whole IT wing. So without any further ado, I invite Brother Bharti to take us through this uh, realm of silence. I invite everyone to turn on their cameras because, as you know, in Brahma Kumaris, we connect with our drishti. With cameras off, we cannot connect with our drishti. We're allowed to see your angelic faces. Please feel free to turn on your cameras if you're in a very safe place. Thank you very much.
Hey. Om Shanti. Thank you, Brother Harsha, for a good introduction. Just before starting, let us take 1 minute silence first in the remembrance of Baba. Then he will lead us this program. Yeah. So, fine. How to start? I'm just thinking. This is basically let me start with first how I have been introduced to Brahma Kumaris actually, and from there, yeah, the journey was very interesting, and till today it is going like that. And so let me share some of my experiences also, specifically in the area of silence. So it all started in 2000, the year 2000. Um, I was in ISRO. Basically, I was in a location called Trivandrum in Kerala, where I was doing this major research on some onboard computer systems for the launch vehicles. And I'm basically a research minded person at the, the start of my career onwards. So I was not having much idea about all this meditation and especially Brahma Kumaris, anything about it actually, in fact. But when I moved to Bangalore, I have to take a residence. And so my company, which is when I moved to Bangalore, was searching for a house for me. And they happened to locate a house. But what I felt initially was that was a little small, as I have my own things in Trivandrum, so I have a lot of things to move here, shift here. I cannot occupy it. So I went out, and the next after a week or two, I came back to Bangalore along with my family to identify the house, what they are showing it, so that collectively we can decide on which one to take it up. But again, we searched many houses. Then it so happened, I happened to come to the same house which I was not willing to take in the previous week. So the person who is taking me said, "Sir, this seems to be the near matching for what you want. But however, we will try for some more thing. But time being, you take this one and we'll look for some more." With half mind, I took that house because I know that I cannot unpack many things when I take that house. But still, I took it up, that house. Somehow I felt that I should take this house now because I had to continue the things. Family said, "This is fine, we'll take it up and see that what we can do next," actually. After taking the house, I have two daughters. So our family came here, and we just saw the next door, our board, Rajaha meditation. It was written as Brahma Kumaris Rajaha meditation. But I saw the word yoga and meditation. I felt it is some yoga is there in that. So initially I sent my daughters to find out and see whether it is useful to you. So they went and came back and told me, "This is not the yoga what you thought, but it is something different." Oh, then I said, "What is it actually?" So then I went, and my wife also came, and everybody went, and together we met the sister. She explained in brief, and I was totally new to this. So then I was trying to understand everything. So they said, we have some people who can explain you because I have a lot of questions. So there was some scientist coming to that center. So they made him to give me the course. So then I was talking to him and finding out what are the things. I felt things are very different in this, and it is very interesting, in fact. And then I thought, why I am taking this course and doing it? Something is pushing me to do this actually. What is it actually? Then slowly I learned that from the sister. She said, the house where you have come, what is that speciality of that house? I asked, what do you mean by speciality of the house actually? She said, that is the house where we have been conducting our meditation and conducting courses, conducting regular classes and all. And just before you come, we shifted to this building, and you happened to come and occupy that building as soon as we moved out. Wow, I was really surprised to know that fact that I came to a place where it was a Baba center actually later. But that time it was really great surprise to me, and I felt that then I understood that why I'm getting a push to learn these things, because the energy field around that uh, house and the building was so high that I was pushed to learn this and understand it much more in detail actually. And that has driven me the interest to really, oh, this much is there means then this is something which we need to go deeper and see how this kind of energy field is created in this. And being a researcher by, by virtue of my career also, I felt that this is something very, very interesting. And I entered into this meditation from the angle of analyzing the energy actually, because I am seeing this all content in a scientific angle with respect to a kind of a we being is a metaphysical energy actually. We are simply a metaphysical energy and driving these physical elements when we are there in the physical world. So this took me great interest to understand. That means we are a eternal being and we are a metaphysical energy, and we can create field, we can create energies field around us, and we can even change and transform the energy field around us. And this has really triggered me to a great extent that I can create an atmosphere which I want, which I thought that it is I have to go by what is there, and I be driven by the atmosphere where I am there. But here, interesting fact, what I understood is I can drive the atmosphere actually if I want. So then that put me to study this knowledge, and I took the course complete 7 days course. We took it up, but still my quest was not. The questions were not completely answered at the time, and then I went into Murli, and Murli gave me the real depth in the understanding for me, because I started reading Murli word by word to understand each word means what actually really, because it is coming from the Supreme, and Supreme's words are very valuable words. I consider that way, Murli, and I given very, very big importance or very high importance for the Murli actually. And for 1 year, I was trying to understand what Paramatma is trying to say actually. And in the first year, what I concluded is the first and foremost thing is, did I make the first lesson properly understood actually? The first lesson says, who am I? And I am a soul. And I was trying to ask me multiple times, did I understood that lesson properly actually? Because I am all the time activating through the physical means, but I am a metaphysical. So how to distinguish between these two things actually? All the time I'm in the physical means, but I have to realize myself as a metaphysical means actually. That was a challenge. So then I realized that this needs real practice. It is not understanding the knowledge important, but I should put it into practice. So after first year, 1 year time, the center recommended me to go to Madhuban. So I was not knowing what is Madhuban first actually at the time, because I was studying all these things, but I have no experience of Madhuban actually. So they said, if you want to really get a feel of what you are thinking about it, about your consciousness, you should visit Madhuban. So I happened to go to Madhuban. It happens to be one of Bab Dada's Milan time. And that's the first time I'm going for the Milan. Somehow they made me to sit very close to Bab Dada actually. But I don't know really what I'm sitting there and doing it. I just, only one thing I remembered myself. Here I should see that I should experience that I am a metaphysical energy, I am a soul. And I should also see that if Supreme Soul is descending here and going to talk to us, I should feel some difference actually. It cannot be like an ordinary talking actually. What is it? That curiosity started developing into me actually. Because first time I'm sitting with Baba Smilan actually. So everything was set. Then finally Baba's time has come where Baba is supposed to descend into Dadi's body. Momentarily, I felt some kind of a small point in Dadi's forehead, actually. It was only for a few seconds, it was there, disappeared. Again, I was wondering what I am seeing it actually here. Is it really I am seeing it or is it my illusion actually? So then I closed my eyes, set myself clearly that I'm only seeing Dadi there actually. But again, that dot appeared actually. This time appeared with some rays from that. Oh, what is this really happening actually here? This is new to me, completely new to me. And a person like me with the background, what I have it, this kind of phenomena are a bigger research aspect for me actually. How can this kind of things can happen from a person who is sitting there, suddenly some kind of point and some rays coming? And that's not lasting for long, but few moments only, few seconds it was there. But that few seconds of that race brought very big feeling inside me actually. A kind of settling down all my questions, settling down all my queries, making my mind a little more calmer, quiet, and made me to only just listen. No more questions. Don't ask why. Don't ask any questions. Just listen. Just listen. This kind of things are coming into my mind. And it is completely calmed down actually. And that is the time I started experiencing what is this calmness means actually. This is really what is that silence, and this is what is really the original nature of the self. As a being, what we are, I could feel at that time. Before that, I was studying it and trying to visualize, trying to create my own feeling about it, but practically experienced when I was sitting in Madhuban in front of Bab Dada. This is something I cannot forget, and this was amazing to me, in fact, actually. And that experience of feeling silent in front of Bab Dada made me to realize this is the true soul consciousness. For a short time, I could feel that. And then I stored that experience within me very strongly so that I want to repeat it actually. So that I want to expand that zone of silence, what I want to have it actually. And that day, full, I was feeling this kind of calmness, and even I was not feeling to speak much even after the Murli, and the impact was there for a few more days. And Amitavela was I could see that I could connect to Baba at that time. Till that time, I was feeling that I'm connecting it, but I was not sure whether I connected to Baba or not actually. But that time, after that, I could really feel what connection means and what is the energy transaction means actually. And as in science we study, the energy flow is always from high to low actually. So Paramatma, who is having the high energy field, soul, which is a limited energy, when it is truly connected, feels that energization, actually, which is what we call as charging, what we say, which I could feel that our limit, our threshold, how it is really expanding actually, in the form of feeling that I could experience more and more calmness inside, and number of thoughts, what is coming in the mind, also getting reduced slowly, and intellect is syncing with the mind actually. Whatever mind is saying, intellect is also accepting, and both are syncing actually. This process I could able to notice actually. And when both are syncing, I could see that I can focus on one thought at the time. When both are talking each other, I could see multiple thoughts arising in the system. So that is where I understood what is meant by concentration, basically. So I realized that concentration is basically when mind and intellect goes together. It should sync each other actually. When it is syncing with each other, we are able to focus on what we want to focus. And that happens only when there is a true nature of the self is realized. The true nature of the self itself is silence, peace. So being in that condition of silence, I could generate what I want, and I could make intellect to analyze what I want and come in compromise, come in synchronization between the two, and focus on the action, what I want to do it. And this needs this realization that I am so and so. This I am so and so realization by imagination, yes, it gives some strength, but real visualization has to take place that this is what I am. I am a peaceful being. This realization comes only when the chattering of the thoughts in the mind is reduced. As much as it is reduced, I could able to feel this kind of silence actually, which means what I am seeing is that time what I really felt is I am creating thoughts, but the thoughts, gap between the thoughts is increasing actually, which means I could see a space between the thoughts, and that space gives me a kind of a feeling of silent, a feeling of focus, a feeling of getting into what we want it actually, and a feeling of listen to somebody says me something actually, which means when I connect with Supreme, the energy what Supreme is feeding into me, I could able to tune and receive it because they have a space between the thoughts actually, which is something I felt wonderful, and which is also logical actually. Otherwise, we are studying many things about silence. We are trying to understand what a silence supposed to be, but really what silence makes it to experience is what I felt when I was sitting in the meditation in Madhuban actually. And that gave me clarity that why we should reduce number of thoughts in our mind actually, so that we can speak to the Supreme. What we call speaking to Supreme or connecting to Supreme can be effective when we reduce this number of thoughts. Because see, reduce number of thoughts we can say theoretically, but unless I understand the need of it, I will not be convinced actually to reduce number of thoughts, because any kind of actions, any kind of things, the relevant thoughts will keep on emerging in our mind actually. But the thoughts, all thoughts need not be relevant sometimes. We may think like a pseudo relevance, maybe something far away, everything will come. So that then we find even out of 10,000 thoughts or 5,000 thoughts or 1,000 thoughts or 100 thoughts, whatever it is, the useful could be very few in that actually. which means the filtering out takes a longer time to converge what I want to do it actually. Whereas when I started creating space, and that space, I simply make myself not do anything, but remember the one who is giving energy to me to think actually properly. A proper peaceful energy from the Supreme who helps me to calm down the things. Then what I experienced is what I want only emerges, what I don't want is goes out automatically actually. I'm not finding unwanted thoughts emerging into my system actually, which itself creating a kind of a zone of silence into me. And this is how I started experiencing the silence, and there is a power in that silence because that is pushing me into a way of properly focusing on what I want to do it actually. Now, from this meditation experience, what I learned is if I could sit and create with respect to the knowledge, some thoughts, and then I could able to experience those knowledge power through this kind of meditation, will it be, why not I can take it to my field, practical field actually. Because what I do it is for our practical life actually. This is my feeling all the time because whatever I do, I should be able to apply it in my field also, practical field also actually. So before taking into the field, I was again and again trying to see whether is it consistent, what I am trying to see first actually. Because if it is one time, two time happening, it could be because of some intoxication actually. Okay, I liked it, I got some kind of joy in this, so I like to do it actually. But then is it influenced by any external factors? Some kind of time where the surroundings are not conducive for you, but are you able to experience it? So these are the questions came in my mind immediately actually. Because sitting in Baba's room, sitting in center, or sitting in a very conducive atmosphere, anything is a little bit easy to get because the stimulus is already available to get into that kind of things. But the real world is not giving that stimulus all the time, which means, am I relying on the external stimulus to create these situations, or am I able to generate any internal stimulus? So then I thought of thinking about it. If I have to create internal stimulus, then it should be a inborn quality of me. If it is a built-in quality, then only I can able to experience that. Otherwise, these qualities can be experienced only with proper triggers, proper stimulus actually. Without the support of a trigger or a stimulus, it becomes near difficult to experience this kind of silence actually. So again, I went into further research, feeling that do I need to depend on something to create this silence? If so, that means I need to come to Madhuban, I need to go to center, then only it is possible for me to create it. Or can I do it at my home, at my office? Because that is a time where I am spending most of the time. Centers maybe 1 hour, 2 hour. Madhuban in a year, maybe twice or thrice maybe, or maybe few days. On a year, if I say it, maybe 3 to 4 weeks in Madhuban. But beyond that time, what happened actually? Where I'm spending the maximum time in this world actually, right? Either in my workspace or at home or different places actually. So what about it then actually? So something which is useful only for 10% of my lifetime, or something which is going to be used for more than 80% or 90% or 100% of my lifetime actually. So what we to practice should ideally should become helpful for you for 100% of your lifetime actually, right? So out of which only 10% is met in my initial period of trying it actually. So what about remaining time? How do I get it? Is it feasible? And that is where I learned that I should not rely on external stimulus, but I should rely on internal stimulus, which is constant and which is always should be there actually. And the more I make my internal system powerful, then it can overcome all those external systems which can depower me, or it can pull me down from whatever effort I'm making it. So this is where the real experiment started for me when I come to the external world actually. So so there many instances started coming to me, and that is where I try to read little more Avyakta Murlis stronger actually. Till that time I was going through what regular Murlis, whatever is there. Then after that, I started giving some attention to Avyakta Murlis actually, where Baba talked about the power of silence in multiple Murlis, how it should be there actually. So I started collecting certain things like that. So interestingly, what I found is there are many Murlis in which Baba has talked about this power of silence, and which is very interesting actually. So probably I think before we get into that more details, we can take some few minutes, withdraw from whatever we are talking now, and get back into our original consciousness, and then come back and discuss about those things. Is it fine, Harish Bhai? Harsha Bhai?
Sure, sure. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So let us take few minutes to check ourselves while I'm listening or while I'm speaking, where my consciousness is, so that I pull back my consciousness from wherever it is. I may be using my physical organs to communicate, and all of you may be using your physical organs to receive this communication. While we use these physical organs, let us realize that I am non-physical. I am a soul. I am a metaphysical. Momentarily, I am withdrawing from all my physical systems and identifying myself as an independent entity. I am a being. I am a peaceful being, belongs to the ocean of peace, who is residing in the supreme abode. Now, I'm consciously creating thought in relation with my supreme, and remembering the supreme, I feel being more and more peaceful. Now, having charged with the energy from the Supreme, I try to come back into my instrument and continue. While continuing, always I am reminding myself that I am non-physical, I am the soul, the peaceful being. And driving this instrument to perform whatever task I want to do. Om Shanti. Yeah. So now I'm trying to see how I can now drive from inside, as I was telling you, that how to create my internal stimulus to bring that kind of calmness, that kind of energy into me. Then I come across one of the Murli, what Baba said in 87, 1811, 87, I believe. Baba says the way to accumulate the power of silence is to have the stage of being introverted and to stay in solitude. So Baba said to accumulate the power of silence is something very, very important. We all have some power of silence, but are we really accumulating it? And if you want to accumulate, what is required? Have the stage of being introverted and to stay in solitude, actually. So what it means? So I was wondering, in my Laukika word, people say be extrovert, not an introvert. But in Alaukika word, Baba said be an introvert to accumulate the power of silence. I saw a contrast here actually, first. Then I understood what Baba said is what is important to drive even the external world actually. Because if you are an extrovert, you can never experience your power of silence actually. And you will be all the time driven. And that is where I found that I want to be a master of myself or I will become a slave to whatever is happening around me. So this triggered me to try go into introvert actually. So I was experimenting myself by reducing myself on all unwanted interactions what I had it in my workspace. This has put me a little challenge in the beginning because whenever we start something, we don't know whether how we are doing it. Sometimes we do overdo actually. So I was keeping myself completely aloof from connecting with others to make myself feel that I'm in control of me. But some people felt that what happened? You have been talking with this earlier and nowadays you're not talking actually. What happened to you? So then I realized, oh, what I'm doing is creating a different thing. And I remember that should not cause a disservice actually then. Because I have to, whatever I'm doing it, that should make others to feel kind of a motivation to do it. And I realized immediately that the comment what I received is important to me because Baba is only telling through them, I thought actually. So I should correct my practice. So then I practiced some dual personality. inside I'll be silent, and outside I'll look like talking to them actually, but nothing goes inside me what I'm talking actually. They think that I'm doing connecting with them, but I'm not connecting with them actually. So I started playing this dual personality inside actually sometime, and started accumulating slowly. But what happened is, when I tried to myself completely putting inside, my accumulation was a little faster, but that has put me my practical world interaction little difficult. But when I started playing dual personality, my accumulation was a little slower because sometime energy goes in the other side also actually. So I have to balance between the two. But over a time, I was trying to practice it repeatedly, then slowly got into acquainted with the kind of how to do this actually easily. So especially when I'm in the outer world, my attention to the all the things will be very, very minimum, so that I don't want to drawn by whatever is happening in the outside world. Otherwise, what happened is, as everybody knows, that this world is so much of what Baba gives a beautiful word, Maya. So, and it pulls us very easily actually. So I started feeling that I am so and so, and I am an embodiment of so and so. That is the time I started practicing the word called embodiment, which means I am the swarup of that actually. Till that time, I was understanding that I am so and so, but I didn't come into that swarup exactly what is that. So that time, understanding was there, but I didn't experience that actually. I will say that, okay, I know that this is what I am, this is what I am. But whatever saying I am, did I felt that power of it? No. But this time when I become introvert, I started putting into that swarup actually. So that's why I like with that word what Baba said, you be introverted and stay solitude actually. So then that solitude, ekanta, what we say in Hindi. So I started experiencing that kind of things, that I created a space within me that where me and Baba only there, and rest are not there actually. Which looks for others looks a little bit jealous actually, but I felt myself somewhat, because sometimes we use Maya in a best way actually, certain things. So so okay, you feel whatever, but I feel better actually here. So that way I took that energy in a positive way, and then try to connect with the Baba every time. And every time I feel that even in my office, when I'm sitting it, I feel that, okay, Baba is next to me. And anything I'm reading, email, anything, other things, I just, some question comes, first goes to Baba, that one. Is it correct, Baba, what I'm thinking it? Like that, I'll keep Baba in the space every time. And surprisingly, sometimes some answers also coming to me actually. Yes, no. I was wondering how Baba knows this thing, what I'm asking, first of all. I am asking it to keep Baba in connection so that I should not lose it. But Baba is also responding, which means what I felt is, when I go into more introvert and when I go in a more innocent way in introvert, I receive maximum help from Baba actually. When I go with Baba, introvert, but with any pre-notions, if I go with Baba and conversate, the help is, the mother or the cooperation is restricted. So what I experienced is, I should not have any pre-notion with Baba, but I should have a honest and innocent connection with Baba actually. I am his child. I don't know really. And I'm asking you. That time, full, complete directions are coming actually, clearly. You do this, and it so happens that since we are in innocent mode, whatever he says, we say, okay, that's all we should do. Nothing more to ask, any more questions actually. And it so happens that that is the best. Then I was curious to know how that becomes best actually. When we are trying to analyze with so many inputs and other things, we may be failing sometimes, but when we go with Baba with so innocent way, the clarity is so clear. Then I connected that our intellect basically designed with a refined wisdom actually. Everyone's intellect is designed with a refined wisdom. It is we add some clutters into it and try to create some options. Is it correct? Is it correct? Is it correct? Like that actually. Whereas if you really allow it, the first thing what comes from the intellect is always correct actually. If you are in a embodiment of this silence and truly connected with Baba and got your energy full, simply think in the top of it, it emerges automatically actually. And that emerges for you with respect to your profile, that is the best. It need not be the best for others. The systems are designed inside such a way that we all have our own sanskars and our own thought process. And accordingly, the intellect is designed such a way that what is best for you, which you can do it, it comes out automatically actually. But if you mix with some external factors, then you may or you may not, and you get into some conflicts after that. And that is where your power to discern or power to judge, these things don't come hand in hand in time properly actually. Whereas the way what Baba said, when I tried it, different situations were there. And when we try it, that completely calmed down, even though externally it was a big turbulence, I can say actually. So it happens one time I was traveling in Tokyo, and I happened to take I've been there in Japan. Many of you know who traveled there. They use the trains very frequently actually. And I happened to go in one of the train, and I kept my bag and then sitting inside. Then when station comes, some reasons I got down, I forgot my bag. My passport, everything was there in that actually. And I was in a station. Nothing is there in me actually, except my phone and other things. But my phone may not work properly there also actually. So I was completely left out. And I don't know what to do at the time. I sat in the station 2-3 minutes. Some upheavals were there in my mind. But then I realized, I don't know, I'm wasting my time in getting into this kind of things. Whom I should talk, I'm not, because I'm remembering about so many people at the time, whom I should call. I should call him or A or B or C or connect him. Station master, I should go and tell, blah, blah. All those things I was thinking. Then suddenly I remembered, okay, I don't know what I'm doing it actually. Let me first calm down. How can I forget Baba at this moment where I needed him actually? But instead of that, I'm thinking about so many people actually. Then I stopped. With all guts, I stopped at the time actually. And then started remembering Baba. And Baba also very clever, because you didn't remember me in the beginning. So you also take some time. Right? So he also took some time. And I also not left him actually. It was a challenging time, 5 minutes, 10 minutes over. I was remembering actually. Then I was just sitting there actually. It so happened, I got on to a station, which is 2 stations before the terminal station. And then I got on the station and then remembering Baba. It was about 10 minutes. And then I was wondering, Baba, what happened? I don't know. Things are happening or not, I also don't know. Because even though I'm remembering the previous uphill, what I created, that was coming and disturbing in between actually. I'm trying to push the upheavals and trying to focus on Baba actually. So scenario was very troublesome scenario for me, because without that, I cannot live in that country. I have to go to, I mean, those days, what happened is the process is very big process actually. going to immigration, talking. So that imagination came into my mind and I got troubled because I came for some purpose and I'm spending some time in some other thing which is not useful. Blah, blah, blah. It went actually. Then I stopped again. Again, remembered Baba actually. So this in between these two scenarios coming, stopping, remembering Baba. Then I said, whatever happens, let me leave it to Baba. Then I will not think about Baba. I am not able to think you also properly. The problem is popping up again and again. You please take care of it. I don't know what to do. I am going into silence. I will not think anything about it. Actually, no, it is for you to decide whether I have to be. Whatever happens to me, it is left to you. Then suddenly, what I'm seeing is the train which went to the two terminals returns. Actually, the I was wondering, oh, the same train is coming back. And that the station master there says, somebody got down the station, left on back. I'm leaving it the station. If he comes, you can collect it, he says, actually. I was wondering, what is this bag is coming to the station master? He leaves like this, actually. So I went and told him that this is my thing only, what is left. Again, challenge is more. They cannot give just like that when I ask also, actually, right? So they did some all this verification process. But then you see, the thing came when I left it to Baba, actually. And when I left it to Baba, and I remained silent, actually. The moment I started remaining silent, because all upheavals started dying out after that, because that's not going to give any results, I understood. So it started dying out. Then I went into silent, actually. Then by the time I going into silent more and more, I could see the results are coming up in front of me. Then I realized this I would have done much before, actually. Why should I go into this kind of things? So why am I telling this experience is, what I learned is sometimes we will be overpowered by certain situations, actually, and where we'll be dragged by such situations. So this experience made me that how you'll be dragged by these situations and you lose sometimes, and then when you brought in control, how the things are falling in place for you, actually, automatically, actually. And that has strengthened my inner process that let me not leave Baba at any instant, actually. Because that is where I learned this is a test paper. Till that time, I was not knowing really what is a test paper means, actually. So the real test paper I found at that time, actually. Because when I discussed with some seniors, they told me this is how test papers will come. And you should know how to check yourself. Are you constantly with Baba? Or are you going out and then coming back and connecting with Baba? Because then I used to wonder, Baba says, Sada, the constant questions every time Murli it comes, that I realized that why Baba is asking that, actually. That one. Because see, if I have been constant, instead of spending about half an hour time, I would have my problem would have solved in 2 minutes without undergoing any kind of things for me. But not in constant, but they again brought back. Then I remained things came into picture, actually. So it's very, very important that what we learned from Baba, constantly churn it, constantly remind yourself that you are so and so, and you are connected with Baba, and proceed with that way. Because the situations, chaos, whatever happens, it will happen. That will not be stopped, actually. Practically, what are going to happen, that will happen. What we call drama, as per drama. But how you are performing in the drama is very important. We can't blame that why it has happened, why such things have happened. But we have been given how to play a role in any situations. Are we playing it, actually? This is what I learned at the time. And I immediately went to center, because in Tokyo, I'm connected to some centers of Tokyo and Osaka I used to go. So I went to center, sit in Baba's room for some time, then corrected myself properly that no, what I did is not correct. I told sorry to Baba because why I went into upheavals, which is not correct, first of all. I should have been with you. and how come it happened. Then I reminded myself repeatedly that why how that situation has come, how I went into uh, other directions instead of thinking Baba, why it happened. I was analyzing further on that actually. So what happened is when I was sitting and doing certain things, I was engrossed into the actions, what I was performing more than what I am. That was the missing link there actually. I realized more into the kind of action or work, what I'm doing it more into that, forgetting about who I am and whom I connected. And I didn't take any kind of connectivity with Baba at the time. And things went into other way actually. Then the moment I connected to Baba, the help also came momentarily actually. But connectivity, proper connectivity, that's very important. That's what I found actually. So the more I connect with that properly at that moment, I could see that how Baba is able to make me to realize it. And then in the center, I came and sat and I had a very good meditation after that. Got settled, completely got settled with the mind. And then that time onwards, I started practicing more and more that inside, I should always keep some space of silence all the time. Whatever task you do, it doesn't matter actually. Let it be any pressure, any situations, anything, let it be there. But don't give away our peace, our silence, what we are possessing it because of any external factors. This is a very big lesson I learned based on that. So that is why after that onwards, any situation comes, I try to see it in a normal way. And in my surroundings, people will ask me why you're not getting perturbed and you're not showing any reaction in the face also actually. Because I cannot show that actually, because Baba taught me that now how you should be actually in the situations actually. So I tell them many times, see, this is where very important. By getting into these perturbing conditions or getting into this kind of disturbances, we are losing time, we are losing energy, and we are losing our efficiency in resolving or finding a solution for the situations actually. Whereas taking time, some time, keeping your inner value very strong there, that you are a peaceful being and you are able to take the situation in your control, which needs a practice. It is not that easy that you are any situations you can be like this actually, because situations will change, and every situations, remember, it is going to check our threshold, how much we have, and is it crossing my threshold? It is going to keep it. So what I practiced and desired is, am I full or not? That's what I'm going to check. I don't want to keep any threshold also there, because we need to be full. That's very important actually. If I keep some threshold, that means there is some margin for external situations or maya or chaos, anything, what you call it, can come and occupy that space actually. If you keep it full, then nothing can work for you actually. This is something I practically learned it based on why that is that things are happen like that actually. And subsequently, I happened to uh, go through these murlis very, very, very deeper actually. And I understood that even my power to judge the situations also were not very accurate sometimes. Are we really judging the things properly actually? Are we able to discriminate very clearly what is this is right, this is wrong? Practically, when we do the task or something, is it really happening properly actually? Because sometimes what happened is I have to take some decisions with respect to certain major projects, major things in the real field. And when we take some decisions, whether that is the right decision for us to go for or not, what factors are to be considered. There are so many things to study and then take a call on that. But still it becomes not clear for us whether what is the probability that we take it properly or not actually. And always there is a percentage of doubt in the mind will be there actually, which says that I am not 100% correct on what I'm doing it actually there, right? Now that situations, what I found, I was reading another Murli of Baba actually, which is of, I think it is 81 Murli, I think 131181. Baba says the power of silence is the basis for power to discern and power to judge. So I was wondering, oh, how come silence powers can able to improve the power of judgment and power to discern actually, which means I could distinguish the right and wrong, and I could able to judge also properly when I have the enough power of silence within me. So that's why it is very, very important. The space what is available within us, we should never allow it to get occupied for any reasons actually. We should always maintain that space which is a silence zone within us, it is there. If possible, we should keep it more and more that one actually. So that it so happens that the more that power of silence, what we have it there, I could see those cluttering noise, the interactions, the interferences from so many factors are kept away and make my process of thinking, process of analysis, and lesser influence of my sanskar into that. I could able to feel it actually. Otherwise, sanskar catches those aspects of the external things and bias towards that and influences me, urges me, no, you do this, you do that, you do this, like that. At that time, intellect become dormant and mind and sanskars influences the activities and intellect doesn't have chance to play there actually then. But if I keep the space, the silent space more and more in me, it makes intellect to dominate very clearly, control over both the mind and sanskar, whatever it influences, but use that wisdom, whatever you have it, in the right perspective. And this is something very interesting actually. Just pardon me. And this is what I found is very interesting. And I could practice it sometime where I took enough time to take a call on certain situations. I just kept aside everything. On evening time, some projects we need to take or not, we don't know to decide actually on that, because it is involving certain high value of some, say, some few $1,000,000 it comes into things. And taking it itself is a big value, and a risk is also there in that actually. But we have to decide that one. So I could not able to take a call properly on that. So I kept aside everything. Evening, I try to do most of the time this Namasham yoga actually. Like I do Amrita Vela every day. Evening also I try to take some time. I wish to do 1 hour, 6:30 to 7:30, but some days it may not be possible to do 1 hour. Sometimes I do half an hour at least actually. So I went to Baba's room, sat there, put the problem in front of him and kept it actually. And I said, I'm going to close my thoughts completely because I can't decide on these things actually. But if I don't decide it, then I need not be there in the company then actually. So I had to take a call. Either I have to be there here and do the decisions, or I should move out of it actually then. Surprisingly, the clarity came to me that if I want to do that one, what is the risk going to be there actually? And decision making, I need not do, but the risk taking ability, I can give it to the investor actually, which I never thought that I was owning all in my head actually, unnecessarily actually. And Baba has made it such a way that you just to go and tell these things, let the investors decide. You are only an instrument. You don't have to own that responsibility actually. It just really surprised me. I was so far thinking that I only have to do everything actually. Otherwise, I have to put my paper and go, because this I cannot handle it actually. So, and this kind of things, I mean, I don't know how to explain these things in a more better way, but this is a real surprising experience to me, that how come this kind of new thoughts are coming into the mind when I'm sitting in silence in front of Baba, which never came to me when I go with all facts and data and other things, which is so relevant for the decision making. At the time, these thoughts are not coming. But putting aside everything and sitting in front of Baba, a new thought is arising, which completely made me lighter actually then. Because I'm not going to own it. It's only somebody is going to tell me what I should do, and I should do it. That's it. So I was totally feeling relieved, and immediately started preparing my mails for all those things with the jotted points and all. I sent it. And it went like that finally. The decision maker taken a call that no, let us not go for it actually. Then I said, it is your call. It's not my call actually then. He said, good, you talk to me, he said actually finally. I said, okay, fine. Otherwise, I thought it will come on me, because it's a good value project. But moment we fail in that project, we have to sell off about 50 to 60 people actually from that, which is going to affect their life also actually then. So, and the client is not clear about what they want in the beginning, but client is ready to offer a high value for that actually. So that is where the Maya plays actually then. It's a very high value. If you are really doing it, you become richer, but you are not sure you'll become richer or poor at the time. So we have to be very, very clear. And so that's where I felt that, no, we should not take a call like this. We should go to Baba and talk to him. And Baba made it very, very clear. This is what is the thing. So this is where I found that this knowledge with application of that space of silence in me helped me to perform my duty also in a better, accurate way actually, which is otherwise may not have been possible actually. Especially when we grow in the profession and positions, your responsibilities are increasing and your decision making authority is increasing. People rely on you to do many things actually. So the role play what we play in that situations are very, 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 very critical sometimes, because it is going to have an impact on so many others' life also sometimes actually. So, and finally, I don't want to create an account of many others because of our actions actually. And having come to knowing with Baba, karmic account is very, very important actually. And the role what we play is we have to be very careful on Baba says you do job whatever you want for survival, but at the same time, you also have to be careful on that actually. So this power has prevented me in committing that kind of mistakes by accurately tuning my judgment, which way to be done, and how to take away from you that responsibility and giving to someone else who is supposed to take it. And then things went smooth after that actually. So that way, I found that how these powers have really improved our kind of things. And from that time onwards, I tried to see that before taking anything, any kind of major decisions at least, I used to spend some sufficient time with Baba, because I'll buy time from our management also accordingly, without they knowing why I'm asking this time. but I will take time from the management, even though they think that I'm taking time to prepare it, but I'm taking time to connect with Baba and take a call on that actually. Then, which really helped me in many ways to convert and reduce the effort what is required to do the things actually. And this way, I felt that this is the only knowledge which I found, this is the only mechanism I found. It is helping you in your day-to-day life actually. All other things, I could see that people will come and tell me when I do this, do that. Oh, I found wonderful thing. That's a good relaxation, blah blah, like that they say. I said that relaxation is fine, but now what is your practical thing? Yeah, situation will come, chaos will come. Okay, we may work for some time and we take an off and go there, relax, come back. So then I was trying to tell them, if something is helping you, while doing itself is helping you to relax and do the things, is it better or you want to go and do all get into all chaos and everything, then go and relax actually? Many people say that such systems are not there. It is not possible to have like that actually. Then I started using that as a challenge in the situations and in the atmosphere. And when I started doing this, people started wondering actually. In fact, that has helped me to even to do some people's seva also. When we do this leadership program, we conducted many programs in Bangalore, Hyderabad, Madhuban, and all. Some leaders used to come and talk to us in the offline that the situations are there, how to do it actually. And when we try to give this kind of offline solutions to them, I used to receive some mails from them saying that that time when you talked about it, I felt it is something, okay, we can try. But now I felt that it is a must actually. So, so that is a kind of feedback we try to get actually, and which made me to feel more comfortable that it is not only for me, but anybody who wants to do it, they can also do it actually. Which means it is a universal solution. It is not a unique for us alone. It is universal solution. Only people should accept it and do it. That's it. What is required actually. That's something very interesting actually. So let us quickly take another break. Maybe a few minutes of connecting to Supreme. Then let us come back. Let me withdraw. Become a point. Built in with space of silence. Makes me to feel an embodiment of silence. Now makes me to remember my Supreme, whom I belongs to. Who is the ocean of peace. And I could also remember my sweet silence home, where we all souls originally reside, and we are very, very close to Baba. I experience a very deep silence in front of Baba. I could feel very, very light. Freeness. At the same time, active and energetic. I am a being getting fully charged from powerful energy from the ocean of all powers. With this energy filled within me, I am gradually descending into this body, this surrounding where I am. With my connection with the Supreme alive. And I could feel and energize all the organs of this instrument, which is made up of the five elements of the nature, to become more and more peaceful. And I spread the energy to the five elements of the nature also. And being in the physical world, I spread this energy to all the 9 planets, including the planet of Earth where I am there. Make every element to receive, absorb this energy of peace. So let us gradually come back and start using this instrument. So how many minutes I have, Harsha?
Sure, he can go for a few more minutes. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, fine.
So just for the others, if you have any questions, keep it ready, put it on the chat so that so brother can address that. And it's a really beautiful session. Yeah, please continue.
Okay, thank you. So it's completely driven by Baba. So thanks to Baba. Okay, so few points I liked it in the power of silence. Thought of sharing it. This is one of the points I liked it and picked up from one of the Avyakta Murli, 2016, October 16, actually. So Baba says, see, this is something I experimented and tried out also, actually. The power of silence can enable your thoughts to reach other souls even faster than a wireless. And in multiple times it happened that especially during Seva time, it so happened in Bangalore, one event we are trying to do it for all CXOs. All preparations were happening. Sister Jayanti Ben was coming for the program, and we invited all the things. But what happened is the budgeting what we put for the program, and budget was little going higher side after that, because we went to the star hotel and tried to put the program. And initially we thought that we can do it without much problems, but unpredictably it went little other side. So we were wondering whether we will be able to do it, or will we get some help or somebody. Then we were under thinking. Then I thought that it is Baba's thing. Baba should be able to do it, but I don't know how it will happen actually. Till last 10 days, situations were not improving actually. It was going like this. Suddenly, one fine morning, I'm getting a call. One company is calling me and saying, I heard that you are conducting a leadership program. Do you allow any exhibitions there actually? So, oh, then I asked Baba, what is this happening? Getting a signal like proceed. So I told what kind of exhibitions you are going to do it actually, because this is a leadership with spiritual empowerment. So what kind of exhibitions? No, we are a company with some software company and promoting some IT software for some applications, which is for some kind of applications, which is general applications. And I said, this is spiritual empowerment. Anything which is deviating from the spiritual things, we may not able to encourage you like that. Because I don't want to leave my principles also for doing that. At the same time, even though we have challenges actually. No, he said nothing to do with it. Actually, it's a plain things only. Then we saw that, then it was fine. Then how many stalls you want? I asked actually. He said, I want 2 stalls. Oh, okay, great. I said, see, this is the kind of people who are coming. They are not coming with a business mind. They're coming with some leadership mind actually. But fine, if you want to show it, you can show it as a general thing. How much I should pay for it? He asked actually. I said, I have no idea about it. First of all, I never thought about a sponsorship, first of all, because I want to be honest with you. We are not doing it for a commercial thing, but it is a program where, fine, we take a sincere kind of contributions, whatever comes without any business purpose in this actually. Oh, it's great. Then let me do 50% of the program, whatever you are going to have it actually. Oh my God, I said, it's interesting. I see. Then I said, I don't know, my budget is around X amount and would be able to manage it actually. I said, oh, nothing, we can do it actually. He said, okay, it is done. Then the next is for the people who are coming there, hotel, other expenses are there, another 50% is there. Before 5 days of the program, one CEO from one company called me actually. He said, I want to do something for this. I heard you are not taking any donations from all actually. How are you going to do this program? He said, okay, it is happening with some voluntary things and we do it. We don't generally ask any donations. We don't take donations. Can I sponsor? He said actually then. Oh, what do you mean by sponsor? I did. Okay, I want to do a sponsor of this program. I said, we don't do any big advertisements about this program or your company name, anything and all. But maybe our website can have your things if required. But we don't do generally promote any things like that. Only some leaders will come. At the time, we can announce in the hall that so-and-so has helped us in this thing as a gratitude. Is it fine? More than enough, he said actually. Surprisingly, he said, I will take minimum 50%. If you give me more also, it is okay, he said. I said, what you give is sufficient. We are meeting the things, I said. So this is something which I felt, oh, Baba, what is this really? We were wondering about how to take care of it. And I was talking to all our BK colleagues and all, and I was also preparing something, emergency, what we should do and all. Then I kept quiet and still not sufficient, we know that. So I stepped above. I asked some sisters also, do you want to postpone the program or we want to go ahead with the program? All said, let us go at it, but we'll do yoga. So finally, that sitting in silence with Baba for 10 days continuously, all volunteers were contributing in yoga maximum actually. And finally, everything came actually. It came beyond what we want to spend also finally actually. So I was wondering, Baba, it's more than what we want actually. So something went to center, something went to this thing like that, and we gave it, and then everybody was happy finally, actually. So the result is the kind of thinking, kind of yoga, and in yoga, how much we are silent without setting any expectations, actually. That's what I found, actually. You don't set expectations. It should be met, it should be met. This much should come, that much should come. Don't set any expectations, actually. Just leave it to Baba and you sit in silent without any kind of thoughts in that. Baba, let this seva becomes fruitful. Let there be kalyan, which means that let there be beneficial to every soul who comes here. Let the souls who are yet to get it, let it get. Only put a thought about objective of this seva and make this seva effective. How the seva has to take place, it is Baba's things, actually. And we all will wish only the seva to take place in the best way. That much only we thought about it. Other than that, how to take place, how to make it happen, we left it to Baba, which means we are given a, what Baba says, Shubha Bhavana, actually. That's what we try to give it. And more than that, nothing is done from our side, actually. Everything was taken care of by Baba, actually. And program also went well. Sister came, good gathering was there. Instead of 1 day gathering, we made it to 2 day gathering. We made it to CXO 1 day. We made it to HR people another day. Like the 2 separate events, we held it. Most of the leaders could participate and some takeaway was there. Good feedback was there. So we were wondering and really saying, Baba, it is Kamal, actually, really. So this is another experience in Seva when we try to apply this silence and how it becomes successful, actually, over time. Before that, as everybody is having, we are also having the similar surprise, how it will happen, what will happen. But then on mind tells, sit with Baba. Because I used to meet Dadis earlier, they used to tell me, anything comes, don't think more. Just go and sit in front of Baba. Rest will be taken care, actually. And practically we are seeing. And the time we were discussing with Jayantiben also similar things. He also said, that's Baba. That's what is Baba, actually. So wonderful, really, actually. And from there onwards, the experience continues, still going on, actually. And yeah, there is a lot more to share, but okay, time is something which is, we always have to take care of it. Thank you very much for every one of you for joining this program and giving your valuable time. And if you have any few questions, which if I could able to answer, yes. Otherwise, Baba is there for us to give the answer, actually. So
That's beautiful. Thank you, Bharti Bhai. It is really beautiful. And do you remember that CXO summit? I don't know, is it Bangalore one or the Pune one?
no, this is yeah. I was in Bangalore when what I was narrating the experience. But yeah.
I know there. Then it is. I do remember the budget was high, and then that was a magic. That was a magic because Baba always says like shoot for high, shoot for sky, and then all 5-star hotels go for the CXOs all the way to the heads,
Correct.
and then we went all the way. Then all of this effort really turned out to be a good service afterwards.
Correct. You are right.
Yeah. Beautiful, definitely. If anyone have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself and you can ask. Kalpana Ben.
Yeah, Om Shanti.
Yeah, Om Shanti.
Thank you, brother, so much. I never understood what the power of silence is. And both the meditations you did were so sahaj. It was, I didn't have to put in any effort. Till now, I was doing yoga with the expectation that this should happen. Well, Baba is just available.
Yes.
If you give up all the nonsense that's going on in your head.
Yes, you are right. You are right. Let us be very natural with what we are and what Baba is. And Baba will lift us with what he wants us to become equal to him gradually as we move with him. As we more closely move with him, he always takes us along with him. That is why we say we belong to him. Actually, when we belong to him means what it means actually. He is with us and we are with him actually. So that belongingness we try to feel as we become more and more simple, more and more natural with him actually.
But the difficulty sometimes is how to let go of the clutter
Correct.
in your mind.
Yes.
And if you had any last minute tips or
yeah, so one thing what I should say is I like that Vardhan what Sunday only what Baba gave it. You become Maya proof. Baba says you get immersed in the love, go deep into the love of Baba. You become Maya proof actually. And that is something which I liked it. Because that Baba says that's an easy purusharth. Of course, Baba wants us, don't be careless in that actually then. Because if you're careless, then your mind will bite you that you're not done it actually. While you praise yourself outside, but your inside your mind will bite you actually. Instead of that, be in true love with Baba. That's the best thing in fact actually. And in fact, that Murli got slogan also interesting slogan, which is also giving us to become free from the bondages of Maya and matter, right? You become the kind of stage of your, what do you call, Purvaj or ancestor actually, right? What do you call this ancestor, right? So you will be in the remembrance that you are an ancestor soul and be in that stage automatically liberates you from bondages of Maya as well as matter actually. So these both the things, if we put together, we can really sail along in the current situations also without much difficulties.
So this is yesterday's Murli or the Sunday before?
I remember yesterday, Sunday, I believe. I think Sundays,
I think Purva Jatma was, I think, the Sunday before.
Sundays, I think, actually, yeah.
Right.
I remember it is Sundays, actually, yeah.
Thank you so much.
I like the two things what would see in slogan he puts how to become free from bondages. And in Vardhan, he says how to become Maya proof. Both are two different solutions for that. One is with a deep love, other one is become a Purvaj stage. And see the solution what Baba gives really makes two things are two different things. I try to analyze further what is Maya proof and what is free from bondage of Maya actually. Because situations, two different situations helps us to become two ways actually. And it is wonderful in fact actually.
So in the Vardhan, it is liberate from bondage.
No, Vardhan is to become Maya proof.
Maya proof, okay.
And slogan is to become liberate from bondages actually of Maya and matter.
Right. And also your explanation of the word Sada. I really got
constant, yeah.
And some other time, if you can come and teach us how to listen to the Murli. Om Shanti.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that definitely is the thought I also had. Like when we listen to Murli from that space of silence with open mind, not pre-consumed, like is Baba going to tell about solving this problem? So you won't listen what actually Baba is telling. So going into the silence and then listening to the Murli, you will find so many jewels. And then you take the practice to the different level.
Exactly. Well, very good. Right, brother.
So like in today's Murli, he said you're going to be, when he says Vishwa ke Malik banne wale ho or Swarg ke Malik, it doesn't resonate because I don't think I'm capable of that. So what is he trying to instill in us?
See, Baba's words are very important. Straight away, if we compare it, we may not feel that, am I going to become master of the world? Right? Master of the world is something very different from, but never think that way. Baba wants me to become like this means he is also owning the responsibility to how to make me like that actually. Right? It's not I asked him to become master of world. He wants me to become master of world. That means he wants the responsibility also to how to make me master of world. I only have to go along with him. Just that's it.
Wow.
If I take the responsibility in my head, I'll become struggling again. No, no, no. What I will do actually, actually, right? But
Right.
just let me sail with him. Whatever he wants, I'll go hold his hand and go with him. That's enough. Let me not leave him first. That one thing, if I do it, rest he is taking care of it actually. And where the silent helps a lot. Otherwise, mind thinks, am I become, will I become? Am I really doing it what he wanted? No questions. What he says, I'm simple. I want to just go with you. I belong to you. That's it.
Thank you. Om Shanti.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Bharti Bhai. It was really beautiful. The tips that you have given. I, I, I was churning on this silence for a while, and I haven't saw the point which you have pointed out, that when we bring a space between sanskaras and the mind, there is an opportunity for intellect to work something. When you take your mind into silence and bring some silence between sanskaras and mind, and intellect has an opportunity to work. Otherwise, mind and sanskaras are overpowering
Yeah,
everything. It's a beautiful technique to bring some silence, and then it's not just bring them apart with force, but bring Baba into that silence, and
exactly.
always have a space for Baba. Don't get overwhelmed by any situation
Correct.
where all the space is preoccupied, and then pushing Baba out of your head.
Yeah,
I
that's
like that visual. Yeah.
very, very important what you said is correct.
Thank you very much. If anyone have any questions or comments, feel free to unmute yourself. I know it is a little longer, so, let's take a minute and then wrap up and connect together in silence
Yeah.
with Baba. Oh,
Om Shanti.
thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you all once again.
Thank you, Bharti Bhai. It's beautiful. We'll definitely have you come again and take us through the one more round.
Thank you. Let
Thank
us see.
you.
In drama, whatever fixed is happening, it will happen actually. So, right.
Definitely. Thank you, everyone, for joining, and we love to see you again tomorrow morning. It's in the subtle world, in the silent world, together at 4 a.m. Om Shanti. Good night.
Shanti. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah.